I bet. So, a conversation with my boy, Godsnephew. Nephew, some of you might know him as Josh, but I had the privilege of knowing both. So, like I said, this is new for me and my boy. So, we just gonna get into it.
Sure.
How you feeling, bro?
I'm living. I'm alive, man. I'm enjoying life. How are you?
I'm good, bro. I'm just excited, bro. Like, this is my first getting into the journalism side of things, and seeing the real talent that we have in behind Greenville, and it wouldn't be better than to have it with you, bro.
Tight.
You know what I'm saying? So,
how's that journey going for you?
it's going good, bro. I think I'm just more excited just to showcase like what we actually have instead of just the norm. So this is gonna be good. But yeah, just bear with us. Like I haven't perfected this yet, so we're gonna get straight into it. But like I said, this is my boy Nephew, entrepreneur, executor. Most people don't use that word. Producer, director, aspiring model. Even though he doesn't want to acknowledge that. Aspiring model, an influencer in the making. Some of you might know him as just a photographer, but all that and even more. This is Nephew. So tell me a little bit about yourself, bro.
Well, thank you for that
Yes,
intro.
sir.
That was beautiful. That was crazy. That was great. But yeah, I'm just South Carolina, Greenville, South Carolina, to be exact. Malden, South Carolina, to be exact. PK.
Yeah. But you're more than that, though.
Yeah, grew up PK.
Yeah.
But yeah, bro. I got into art early. My older brother, he's a musician. He
Yes, sir.
introduced me to his name's Isaiah Huron.
Yes, sir. Check my boy up.
Yeah, he got into music early, and I always needed Instagram pictures. So, I used to be a basketball player, and then he had me start taking pictures, and he introduced me to Visco, and I was just like, he was like, yo, you're actually kind of good at this, like, you might want to try something different. So, that just took me down a whole different avenue. I used to like be getting in trouble in school and stuff, and like just kind of, being a kid. Like,
Right.
So, but yeah, that. As soon as the Visco, I started taking pictures of flowers and taking pictures of the world, and just started seeing life through a whole different lens. Really, just like
because I remember. You see, we were in the same church the whole time. Like growing up, and we didn't really realize it. Like we would have interactions, but it was never like how we are now.
Right.
And I remember like around seeing your work, like early high school days, seeing Godsnephew around, and it was like different. It was a different sort of photography. I wasn't even modeling or nothing then, but I've always been into art and photography. And yours was more. People, like you said, people get on to you about the colors, but the colors is what made you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it was the colors represented a feeling or an emotion, and we talk about that. And so most people don't understand that though.
And that's what when I say like it kind of changed, like photography made me look at life through a new lens. It really did. Like it made me more into it myself, and like. Just all these questions start appearing, and you start getting real conscious about everything. So,
right.
I started finding a way to express like how vivid I felt or how dim I felt. Like whatever emotions I felt, I'd be able to display that through whatever picture I took, whether it's of a tree I see or on a walk, or just like some textiles I see while I'm at Chipotle or something, like, whatever it would be. I kind of found a way to interact my emotions with everything I saw in the world, type of thing.
Correct.
Letting the world be the canvas.
So I know you just briefly explained, about photography, but what is the meaning behind Godsnephew?
Yeah, that story is actually hilarious. It was an accident. Like I never really meant for that name to be like a thing. Yeah, I never really.
I don't even know this, so go ahead.
So it was crazy. Me and my boy, shout out Sean Puckett. We were. I wasn't even really like into photography for real when I came up with that name. I was just looking for a cool Instagram name, and me and my friend, me and Sean, we got into a deep conversation. Not a deep conversation, but we were just like, bro, we were like 13, just like rambling about life, like asking all these random questions, like, yo, what if God had a family, bro? Like, what if he had a whole, like, he got cousins, he got aunties and stuff. Like, it was like, what if God had a nephew? You know? And he said that, and I was like, whoa, like, say that again. Like, it rang to me, and I was just like, he's like, God, like, what if God had a nephew? I was like, God's nephew. I was like, word. So I just used that as my Instagram name for a while, but over the years, like, and that came around when I was like 14, 13, but as the name like grew on me, it kind of started displaying, just different things really. Like it kind of grew into a character almost, like just like angel demon character, like being able to. This balance almost, like this visual balance you see.
Before you go into that, I want you to, like, that goes into what's the difference between Josh and Nephew.
Oh, okay, cool. That's perfect then. Wow, it displays just that, like the balance of what I have accumulated to know and see, the experiences that I've had over the years, over my entire life, just like, you know, being a PK and then like being a regular person in life is like two total different. You know, I kind of always had that duality in life. It's like, you know, I have to be this certain way whenever I'm in public. If like people know my dad, like I gotta move a certain way. None of my friends really understood that logic, you know. Correct. So I had to always just like, I had to be able to balance that too. You know, like if I'm out with my friends in public, like I had to be like, yo, if y'all see me interact with some people, just like, just know it's some, it's a whole different story, you know. And it's not like I would be displaying two different people. Like it's not like I wouldn't be myself. It's just I had to display different characters of myself. Like I had to, you know. I had to broaden that super early. So, into Godsnephew and Josh, like, Josh is kind of still the me that is in, like, it's lit that we're in my room right now, because it's this is literally the depiction.
Correct.
I'm always in my own comfort zone. Like I'm always moving in my own world, and I think that's Josh. Like he's always just like, I don't care.
And then like people don't realize, like, you've been here your whole life. Like most people haven't been at their house or their location their whole life. So this is literally, he's grown up in this room. Everything has went down in this room.
For sure.
Godsnephew was made in this, you know what I'm saying? All that editing.
In this corner.
You know what I'm saying? You name it. Like, this is literally the stumping grounds. Yeah. And so years down the line, you're going to look back at this and be like, oh, shoot, that's where it began. You know? Exactly. And so I think that's really cool too. And so moving forward, like, what has the hero's journey been for you? And most people who don't understand what the hero's journey is, we've had this talk. And I've been just so, like, infatuated with what the hero's journey really is, because I'm the lost taste as another, like, when we talk about characters, but underlining that, the underrated hero. And that's another story for a different day. But this is an underrated hero podcast. And so when we talk about the hero's journey, we all have that journey. That's a never-ending journey, which people don't realize. And so I want you to just explain, what has the hero's journey been for you?
Well, it's kind of funny you asked that, because I kind of, not too recently, when I moved to Nashville after I graduated, I lived there for 2 years. I kind of just realized what the hero's journey was. I think that was like my first, like, what they call it, call to, like, you know, like just call to action. You know, I was like, I had to leave the city. Like, I didn't know anything else. I knew it was a lot going on in my life. Like, it was chaos, but I was just like, I gotta go. Like, I gotta leave. So, and then experiencing everything I did out there, like living by myself and having to do all that. Like, I started reading about, like, I started being able to develop time to read about the hero's journey and be like, wow, like, you know. So I guess what it's been for me is, like, when I came back home, like when I moved from Nashville back to South Carolina, you know, everything that happened, you know, but I kind of felt this need to step more into service, if that makes sense. Like service to not even just like to people, to the world. Like I felt the need to like stop holding myself back. Like even now, like in this interview, like stop trying to hold myself in this shadowy place of like trying to be low key and just like like I felt the need to come back home and like try to help people find their own direction. Like because our people's always like, if anything, I've always noticed like people can always have these one-on-one conversations with me and get really vulnerable, even when I didn't really, even if I didn't want to, you know. But it's like I guess it's like that energy that's like transferred. So I guess I started being able to realize like that's a superpower in itself.
Definitely.
You know, and being able to be like, okay, how can I use that as my service? Like how can I use like when you start there, you see a bunch of different other aspects about yourself that you can be a service at. So
glad you said that, because in more simpler terms for people who wouldn't necessarily know what the hero's journey is, go back to school. You know, you can do your research. It's not nothing. It's, you know,
watch every movie you've ever seen.
Shrek, for example. We all know how Shrek was, and call to action. And then he met people along the way. Donkey. And you know, and you had that refusal to go for your calling because he was going to turn back, but who was that person in his ear? No, Doc, you got to finish this.
You got to go.
And like I said, and then that's where the dip goes in, but you know what I'm saying, he eventually accomplished the journey. There you go. And then once again, when it comes to the hero's journey, you die off. People don't realize that. That's why I say it's a never-ending journey, because it's a period where you're reborn and you go back after it again. It's another journey in the process.
It's a never-ending cycle.
And so it's inevitable. And I'm glad you explained it like that. So what would you say, what part of the hero's journey you're in now?
Oh, that's so perfect. I feel like I'm in the part where like everything went bad. You know, like in every movie when all the things that could go bad goes bad. Right. Like, you know, like literally like in the past year.
If you know, you know.
Yeah.
Like literally.
Like I'm going to say this, I'm super thankful to like be here. Like me and my family, like, you know.
Blessed.
Like super blessed. Yes. So, and the ones that know. So like I never, even when the first incident snowballed, like I already knew. I was like, yeah, this that part. Like you gotta suit up for stuff like this. Like you gotta be suited up for stuff like this. You know, like you gotta be strong. So I kind of was just like, all right. I kind of talked to God. I was like, you know, whatever it is, bro. Like
I'm ready.
Let's do it all the way. And I feel like I'm in that part now where I'm like, all right. He like cool. Like we see. You feel me? Like all right. Here's the new half. This the other side. Like you feel me? I've never seen as much chaos as I have in the past year, and I've seen a lot of chaos. Definitely. So, yeah, I feel like I'm in a part where I'm stepping into a new life. I feel like a new me, like new body, like new soul, like everything. I feel like a new person. So
that's beautiful. That's why I say I feel like this is like the perfect moment to do it, because you had a moment of refusal to even continue on, and we all go through that. I went through. I'm pretty sure you have went through it, but in that period, it doesn't have a timetable. It could take 5 minutes. It could take a day. It could take a week. It could take a month. It could take years. What would you say how long it took you to get past the refusal part in this inevitable journey?
I think a part of it is that low key. A part of me feels like it's an everyday battle. You know, like it's an everyday struggle. I feel like that's just life though. Like the balance half. Like a part of you doesn't want to do a lot of things. You know. Part of you don't want to go to the gym, but you know it's the right thing to do. Correct. You know, it's like part of you don't want to eat healthy, but you know it's the right thing to do. It's like those type of things. Like I think I'm still finding my way in which I feel comfortable in expressing this new version of myself. Like more than just photography, more like that list you introduced me with. Like I'm like wow, like because I'm understanding like wow, yeah, that's valid. I can't deny that anymore. You know, like as I used to. Like it's like usually I try to be too humble or like, you know, just like.
And we literally had like a 2-hour conversation about it. Stop doing it.
Yeah, you gotta walk in that. Like you gotta walk in that. That's your life. That's something you can't deny. Right. So I think every day like I'm understanding like, okay, this is what it is. Like you can't run from that. Like obviously you see what happens when you do. So it's like, yeah, I think every day I'm like, eh. But that, I call that part X, and I kind of, if you don't mind, like I want to introduce that to people. That's a part of like everything you kind of see. It's like whenever you have an idea to do anything good for yourself, it's that part of yourself that's like, no, you can't do it, or like you find it finds any reason to tell you no, like and it'll attach to you. You may have a million reasons to say yes, but that one no, you gotta be able to see the other reasons of like why it's important. You feel me? Like you gotta be able to walk in that for it. And kudos, like I remember when we had that 2-hour conversation, like I kept thanking you like for being that constant reminder to me when I'm in the when I was in that ditch of like, oh, everything is just too gone, like bump this. Like I'm ready to go back to Nashville. I'm ready to slide. You know, I couldn't do that. Like God wasn't he wasn't going for that.
God's not done, God's not finished.
So, you know.
And so I want you just to explain to the people like what is next? Like what can we expect to see from Nephew, and what are your aspirations for what's next?
What's next is reconstruction. I'm gonna just throw that out there. It's time for reconstruction. And from Godsnephew, I think a lot more storytelling, like a lot more visual storytelling. No more like I enjoy doing the portraits. I enjoy doing what people enjoy seeing me do. But I think I'm in a space now where it's like I have way too much to say. Like I got way too much. I got too much life. I got too much experience.
It's too much for you to just be one dimensional.
Right.
And
right.
And like you were saying, that box. You know what I'm saying? That's why I gave that whole intro. It's more than just that one thing. You know what I'm saying? Continue.
No, it's gotta be that. I gotta be an octopus. You know, like I gotta be able to stretch all my tentacles out and just be like, yeah, like this is who I am. Like I'm all of these things. Like so I think I just storytelling through pictures, storytelling through videos, through film. I wanna head more in a director's path, like a film director's path. So, and my aspirations is just like serving, like helping the people, like being able to tell stories in a way that captivate people's emotions, like, and makes them be like, okay, like, like whatever the okay may be, it could be good, bad, like it make you rethink everything, whatever it is. I just want that emotional attack, I want people to be able to evaluate their emotions through whatever they see from me. So
correct. And then like lastly, what is the why?
Ooh, that's really
and explain
good.
it as if I don't know.
Okay. My why? Just for in general? Oh my gosh. I'm so happy you asked that question, bro. Like, thank you, because I haven't been able to. I haven't asked myself this question in a long time.
Oh, wow.
So, that kind of sent chills down my spine.
Yeah, because I was actually going to, after what's next, I was done, but I was like, I don't know. I need to know the why.
Yeah.
So,
I think my why used to be just to find a way to express myself, just to find a way to get my emotions out. But I think it became way bigger than that now. Long live Six, long live Serenity, man. I took a trip to New York and I met a kid, bro. Like, he was 18 years old, bro. He was from the DMV, right? And we had a conversation one night in New York, 4:00 in the morning. And I'm not going to get into that conversation, but that conversation, like, we got to know each other's whole lives in that one night. You know what I mean? And after so long, we would chat here and there. He would check up on me when I was in the hospital and going through everything. And one time I realized we hadn't talked in a minute, and I went to go check up on him, and I found out he killed himself, right? And that blew my mind, right? So it reframed my whole, like, everything I told him I wanted to do it, like with reconstruction, with like, in his belief in it, he was like, yo, I need that in my city, like, I need that in my, he was like, bro, please don't, you feel me? Like, don't end the mission, like, stay to the mission, you feel what I'm saying? And he would text me that after every conversation we had. He was like, bro, I see you soon, like, So, like, I think my why now is just like for the, cause I know how he felt. You know what I mean? Like I know that feeling. So, so I'm like, I want to be able to, whatever way I know I can. You feel me? Like whatever way I'm conscious to know I can. You feel what I'm saying? Stop that and like, if not stop it, be able to give somebody something just in that moment. You feel what I'm saying? Like be able to make somebody feel something in that moment, because we all know how that feels sometimes, especially as men.
Because I don't think people realize, getting into that topic of people when you're so down to the point where you end it all, I think that is even more of my why. Because my challenge is people really can't get past their own mind. And I thank God every day that I'm fortunate enough to balance and I'm able to compartmentalize situations. Some people can't do that, man. And they look for that hero, that someone to keep them going and someone to keep that drive. And sometimes they can't even look for that.
Yeah.
Sometimes that ain't even enough.
Yeah.
Sometimes they can't even find that inspiration, and that's the why. And, you know, it's for people like Six. And that's why I want to do this. It's more than beyond just me and him. You know, it's for people like him that couldn't see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
You know, some people can't see it, but people like us, we can. And you know, and it's our mission to make sure we can do it as best as possible and display our work and show God's mercy and God's grace and how He's kept us and how He's lived through us and how He's got us through these situations. And you know, you can't save everybody.
But you can try.
But yeah,
try your best.
You can try your best.
You can try your best.
Thank you. Heavy is the head that wears the crown.
Amen.
Literally. You know, to whom is given, much is required. That's tatted on me. Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah.
You know, that is literally tatted on me. To whom is given, much is required. And I got it on me for a reason. Because I know no matter what, it's a mission and behind all of this. Wow. And wasn't expecting to go that direction.
I just want to say this. I'm sorry.
No.
Like,
go ahead.
And you would have never guessed with him, bro.
Yeah.
You know? Like, that's the thing.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, he was such a joyous person. He was such a full of energy, bro. He was from the DMV. He was in New York by himself for a week on a modeling gig, you know? Like, out there living life. Huh?
And he was a model?
He was a model, 18. Like, he had a model. He was under a modeling agency. He was a fashion designer. He had his own clothing line. You feel what I'm saying? He was just in Fashion Week. You feel what I'm saying? Not the big ones, but he was. You feel me? Like he was outside. Like he was making moves. So it's like you would have never guessed. Like but you could still feel that. It's like, but I feel like on my end, I felt ignorant to it. You feel me? Like because it transferred so well that I was like, you wouldn't think nothing of it. You know? So it was just like, and it was 2 months later when I figured out. You feel what I'm saying? Right. Because we live in two total different parts of the world. So, yeah, like, you gotta be, especially if you feel that, you can't be ignorant to that. Like,
can't be ignorant
anybody that feel it, you can't be ignorant to that feeling. Like, don't be afraid to talk to people, bro.
Please.
Like,
please.
We need that. That's all we need.
Yes, man.
That's all we need.
I wasn't even expecting to go that direction, but that is what this is all about, and I'm happy we went there. That's why I just felt, you know, led to ask that question, like, why? You know, and it's for that reason right there. Can't even explain it much more, you know. Anything else you want to share? Anything else you want anybody to know? Anything that I didn't ask that you want to address?
I'm coming back. I'm coming back, man. That's all I'm saying. I've been quiet for a long time.
For a long time, man.
I'm done.
Yes. I like that.
That's it.
Hey, man. Stay tuned.
I appreciate you, bro.
Appreciate you, man. Love.
Love.
Stay tuned.